In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Mandalorian or Din Djarin for the Black 36-inch line, and this is the very first release of him in the red and black packaging. So this is an action figure, even at the very beginning, I didn't really intend on getting. The circumstances behind it are I was actually just strolling around in a Target one day, and this was towards the end of 2019, I think, and they actually had one on the shelves, and I was like, ooh, because this was during the time everyone was really seeking this action figure out, and it was probably the most highly sought after action figure released in the wave at the time. So I thought, oh, I should probably get this now just in case later on I decide that, oh, I should have gotten it. Because I've done that before, and I know we all have, where there's an action figure on the shelf, we kind of want it, then we decide, I'll hold off for another time, or maybe I don't really want it, and then a couple days or weeks or years go by, and then you decide, oh man, I really wish I got that at the time. So that's why I went ahead and did with this one. But I'm glad he's a part of my collection. It's been about 5 years now, and I usually have them displayed with the rest of my Mandalorians like Bo-Katan and Koshka Reeves and the Super Commando and characters like that. And overall, he's a pretty good action figure. From what I can gather, he's probably not totally accurate to what he appears to be on screen because Hasbro has done new sculpts of the Mandalorian since then. Of course, I know he's changed his armor throughout the course of the series, but I think mainly in the helmet here. Something about the shape of it is not 100% quite right. At least that's what I can gather. But overall, pretty good action figure. We'll just take a closer look at him. So I think the helmet skull is pretty good. As you can see, it does have a lot of sand and dirt mixed on it. I assume that's what it's supposed to be. And on the package there, this was still before he was known as Din Djarin, I think, because it's just labeled as the Mandalorian, and that's it. I think now they usually either do just plain Din Djarin or they'll do the Mandalorian with Din Djarin in parentheses. Visor looks good, the paint looks good. As for the rest of his armor, it's pretty spot on as far as I can tell, is how he appears in Season 1. Believe it or not, I still have not sat down and watched The Mandalorian at all. I have seen a lot of the highlight scenes from the series, and I know what happens and all the big events that happen, especially in Season 2. And I usually follow as to what public perception is of the series. I know Season 1 and 2 are highly regarded, but Season 3 is kind of iffy. And of course, there's the movie that's allegedly in the making. Who knows if that'll happen or not. But anyway, they did a very nice job with a lot of these dents on his armor. You can tell it almost looks like he's been shot multiple times. And they even have a little bit of a groove in them instead of just being painted on. Same with the shoulder armor there, just about everywhere else. So you can tell he's seen some action. For his knees here, it kind of reminds me of like a stormtrooper in a way. I wonder if that's what I was going for. He does have the bandolier here wrapped around his leg. The holster for his pistol here. And of course here he has the shore trooper armor. And same with his glove there. So his armor is kind of a mix and match. Does have a pouch here. It's very nice. And of course the holster there, which does have the latch. And then a plastic cape. I think just about all the Din Djarin action figures that Hasbro's done have a plastic cape. I know there's, for Black Series that is. I know for TVC there's a few with the cloth capes. But I have to admit, I haven't followed all the different versions of this character so closely. I know there's it seems like there's a dozen of them at this point. And there are variants of this particular sculpt. I think there's like the dirty armor version where he's completely blasted in sand, and I'm sure there's a few other ones out there. There is the carbonized one, which I never did find that in person. I know that one was, if this one was highly sought after, that one was even more sought after, because Mandalorians do look pretty good in that carbonized look, especially in the helmet there. And I'll admit, between the two, I probably would have gotten the carbonized one as well if I had a choice. But still, happy with this one. Articulation, let's see, I think that's just a single ball joint at the head mostly. It almost looks like he's got a chin underneath there, but it's not. But yeah, ball joint at the head, then hinge shoulders, and the shoulder armor does go over the torso there to accommodate, as you can see, for more range of motion. Hinge shoulders, which go about 90. Hinge wrists, this one goes in and out, this one up and down. A joint at the torso, and hinge hips, swivel thigh, hinge knees, and it does have the pins. This was probably towards the very end of the pin knee era with the double joint. Then the rocker ankles. In terms of weapons and accessories, pretty much has the bare minimum. His pistol here. Which does fit securely into his holster. And we'll see if we can actually put that strap all the way down. Yeah. Much easier than the Han Solo I did the other day. It looks pretty good. Then his signature rifle that he carries around with him. And as you can see at the beginning of the video, you can plug it into his back. Although it's not very good. So you have his, this bandolier here. And if you try and just plug it into his back by itself, it doesn't seem to work too well. But trying to get this bandolier to line up with that spot there, it's very difficult to do. And I would have preferred the rifle to go the other way, but the pin there is at a particular angle where it has to go in that position. I suppose you could do it this way, but it would kind of awkward being in that position, wouldn't it? And then, of course, his cape kind of gets in the way. But if you work with it, you can get it to work. And then he does fit it well into his hands. Let's see here. Of course, he can hold it two-handed. Very nice. Almost looks like a two-way bandolier, or not bandolier, a bayonet. Then he does have the scope right there. Then the stock. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can tell you about the Mandalorian or Din Djarin here. We'll do a quick comparison of his TVC counterpart, which was released within a year after this one. You can see there are some differences between the two, but they are both great action figures regardless. Probably be doing the video for him next. So would I recommend this Mandalorian for your collection? I would. Obviously, if you're a big fan of the Mandalorian, this is a great candidate of an action figure for you. But even if you're not really a fan of the Mandalorian and you're just a fan of the action figures like I am, in a way, uh, for this TV show, that is, it's still a very nice action figure to have. Good way to bulk out your Mando collection, and he looks really good. Happy he's a part of mine. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There will always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all your support, and check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. As always, thanks for watching.